All right, in this video, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of how to use Google Sheets to do a lot of good statistical analysis for us and make histograms. I'm also going to show you a cool website that can make some box plots for you and do a lot of other really nice stuff. So if you're in Google Sheets and you have a list of data like I have here, these are a bunch of weights. So first thing we want to do is find some basic descriptive statistics, right? So the mean is something that we usually want to find. Standard deviations, another big one. Median, Q1. Q3, the min and max. Now, min and max, you could just look for them, but sometimes we got a lot of data. You don't want to spend the time looking for them. So let's just kind of talk about some of these basic ones here. So if I want to find the mean, first of all, I'm going to select a box to put the number in. And if you make a little mean chart here, you can put next to the word mean. Then I'm going to go to Insert, come all the way down to Function. Now, there's lots of things here, but we're going to go under Statistical Function because this is where a ton of good statistical stuff is. Now, this is a long list in alphabetical order, and obviously we're going to be looking for a few things, but one is the average, right? They don't use the word mean, they use the word average, which we all know means the same thing. So I'm going to grab the word average. Now, then what it's going to want me to do is select where my data is at. So I'm going to go ahead and select from the very first data point, I'm going to scroll all the way down here. There's tons of data. I don't even know how much data is here. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list. There it is. And hit enter, and the mean will be put there for you. So the mean is about 142.3953. All right, standard deviation. We'll walk through the same process. Insert, function, statistical. Now you got to go, again, alphabetical order, and we're going to find standard deviation here. So there's a couple things that look like standard deviation. So make sure you grab the one that's STDEV that just says standard deviation. Some of these other ones say some extra stuff there, but we want the one that says only standard deviation. And then again, same thing. Go and select your data. Now, if you know actually what rows your data is in, you could just type it in. Makes it a little bit easier. Once you select it, hit enter. Boom, your standard deviation is there for you. 32.384. So, pretty nice and easy. And I'll go ahead and do the median as well. I'll go and do all these for you. Doesn't take too long. It's pretty common sense. Alphabetical order. Makes it fairly easy to find these. And there's the median. And again, select your data. Takes a minute to scroll through it all. Once you're done selecting it, you can just go ahead and hit enter. And then scroll back up and your median will be there. Now, Q1 and Q3 are actually a little tricky, so it's worth paying attention here. So when I go to function, statistical, and I'm going to go and find Q for quartiles. Now, you notice that they don't have quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. They're all separate, right? So I'm just going to select on quartile. So this is, listen here, this is a little tricky. So I want the first quartile. So I'm going to select my data. Take a second to do that. Then after that, I need to type in a comma and then the number 1 to find the first quartile. Boom, hit enter, and it'll find the first quartile. So to find the third quartile, what you could do is actually copy that function and paste it into where it says quarter 3, and then just go back and instead of a 1, make it a 3 for the third quartile. Now remember, the median is the second quartile, so another way to find the median would be to use the quartile function and put a 2 there. So you do 1 for first quartile, 2 for the median, 3 for the third quartile. And then there's also a min and a max feature here as well. I'll just do the min. Obviously, you could do the max. It's pretty simple. But all you got to do is go again to the M's, and you'll see min right there, the minimum value. And once again, select your data. Once you select all that data, that's kind of the longest part, just selecting your data. Hit enter, and it will report what the min is. And you can do the same thing for max. All right, pretty easy there. Pretty nice feature. All right, now next up, we might want to make a histogram of this data, right? So the best way to make a histogram is just select the entire column. And now that's also going to select the word weights, but that's okay because it usually knows that the first row is a label for what this data represents. So we're going to go Insert, Chart, and it's pretty smart. The chart that it's going to come up with right away, kind of like on its own without really telling you, is it's going to actually probably jump to histogram. And I apologize, my computer is running a little slow. There it is. It popped up right now. Now, the problem is that it does make a histogram. If for some reason it doesn't make a histogram, all you got to do under the chart editor here is select chart type and then look for histogram. You will see histogram there. All right, now, What I did right there is I actually clicked off of it. So if I want to go back to edit this, just click on the graph, hit the little dots, and go edit chart. Now, what I could do here is notice that it's checked that column A is the label. So it knows that row 1 and column A is my data and that row 1 is my header. So it knows that weights is there. All right, so a couple things you could do here is under customize, you could make some adjustments. The first thing I'm going to adjust is you notice the bins are all weird. Like they don't go by a nice number that goes 50 to 77.8. I don't like that. So I'm going to go under histogram here, and you will see bucket size. I call them bins. It calls it bucket. So you can go ahead and make the bucket size 10, and then now you'll see the buckets there. Now, if you think 10 is too small, because now it's kind of hard to read, you can go and grab your data and stretch it to kind of stretch it out if you want. That's cool. But again, maybe that's too many. So maybe we'll go back to histogram here, and we can make the bucket size 25. Now, the only bad thing about using Google Sheets is it doesn't give you a ton of options for bucket size. You can't type in your own. So you got to kind of, be careful there with that, which is kind of cool. So I think that's pretty neat. You could go ahead and double click up here in your title, and you could change the title if you want. Again, anytime you lose that chart editor, just click on the 3 dots and go edit chart. Also under customize, you could go to your horizontal axis, and you could change your horizontal axis. Like maybe you want the min to be 25 and the max to be 400. Why you would want that, I don't know. But obviously that's kind of wasting some space. But again, you could change your min and your max if you would like that way. You could also change your vertical axis if you would like. It actually looks pretty good. Like I don't see any reason to change it. You could go under grid lines, and you could make more grid lines if you want an easier way to read these. And again, you guys can kind of play around with all that on your own. But what matters most to me is that you know how to get a histogram and that you know how to adjust the buckets, which I call bins, to make that look really nice. I think it looks nice that way. All right, and again, once you have that histogram, you could say, oh my gosh, it looks skewed right and stuff like that. You can really talk about the data. And you could also click on the little 3 dots, and you could copy the chart into a Google Doc. Now, when you copy it in, when you do copy and then you go edit paste in your Google Doc, it's going to ask you if you want to paste it linked or unlinked. I would paste it unlinked, because if you paste it linked and then you come back to your data and you make a change to it, like let's just say you delete a value, it's actually going to affect your Google Doc. So if you paste it unlinked, it basically turns it into a picture that you can manipulate and put into your Google Doc. All right, now this is what I think is really cool. And this is a website that I gave you a link on for your project. It is alcula.com, same this website, and it's pretty cool. This is a great, and again, I gave you this link in the Google Classroom, but this is a great tool to make box plots. All you have to do is paste your data into here. So I would just go right back to your data. Make sure you only grab numbers. It's obviously not going to accept any words. And this is awesome because it makes a box plot instantly. You don't have to do any work. So just, edit, copy your data. And you're going to go right back to that website. And in this box, you're just going to paste your data. All the numbers go in there. Hit submit data and check out how awesome this is. It will make the box plot for you. Now, it does do vertical box plots. I tend to like horizontal ones, but I mean, hey, who cares? It identifies outliers if there are any, which I think is pretty cool. It shows you all the different parts of your box plot. And you can copy this image and paste it directly into your Google Doc. Now, the other great thing about this is check this out. It automatically finds for you the first quartile, the third quartile, and if you could go back to our data, it does confirm, let me move this chart, it does confirm that our quartiles were correct. It might do a little bit of rounding and so forth like that, but for the most part, those quartiles are close enough, right? It calculates the interquartile range for you. It finds the min and max. It finds the median. It does not do the mean. But if you look over here, this website's great. I can actually do a lot of different things. You could click on where it says mean, and it could find the mean for you as well with stuff. It also asks you at the bottom here, there's a little option here at the very bottom. It says data is from population or sample. If you want to click on sample, it doesn't really change anything, right? For us, we know this is a sample. It doesn't really alter how we do anything here. But you could resubmit the data if you want. and there is all the information that we need. So that's pretty cool too. So I would highly recommend using this to make box plots. It makes it very convenient. So I did post a link to this website. That way you could get to it really quick for yourselves. And again, pretty easy to do all this. It does take a little bit of time to do it, but it's not too bad. And again, using the insert function tool with statistical stuff, you can go and grab pretty much everything you need. All right. And lastly, if you really want another way to find all of your statistics very quickly, don't forget you can enter all of this data into your calculator, which with a large data set will take a little bit of time, but you could do it. And you can enter all the data into your calculator, and you can have your calculator collect the data for you and find the mean, standard deviation, median, all yada, 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 all that fun stuff. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully you could use this information to help you do a really nice job on that project. All right, see you next video.